Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy, glad, and excited to be back. It's April. I hope you're all excited. That it's April. It's the 4th month of the year. We will give glory to God for enabling us to come this far. I'm one person who is excited to have seen April, and I'm looking forward to a very beautiful and good month, anticipating for so much. In case you're new to this place, you're so much welcome to Looking at Life with Latez. This is a good place. It's a place we come talk. It's a place we have vibes. We come interact. We come learn, and we come get to know each other. So you're so much welcome. In case you're new to this place, kindly subscribe and join us here. And for those who are coming back, thank you so much for coming back. And it's yet another good time that we're seated here to have a talk, that we're seated here to communicate. And today we're just having a casual talk. We're just having an enlightenment of one thing or another. And today is a day that we'll be getting back to our roots, getting to ask ourselves a question or another, a question or two. And today I want us to answer ourselves some questions that, as I'll be asking you, I'll also be asking myself. And maybe to start with, you personally, do you believe in blessings? Blessings from God, blessings from parents, blessings from elders, blessings maybe from church, maybe priests, apostles, and all the church leadership and all that. Do you believe in blessings? And all the same, do you believe in curses? Ask yourself that question. Do you believe there is blessings, and do you believe that there are curses? And as much as we may believe on, as much as we may try to maybe negotiate between ourselves, one thing that I can say is that blessings exist and curses exist. Because I'm one person who really love getting insights and getting maybe my backup from the Bible. And a Bible is one book that we get to read about blessings and curses. We get to hear of blessings and curses, and especially in the Old Testament. And I always tell you guys that if at all you want to read, if at all you want to get to know stories of the Bible, get to read the Old Testament. And you get to read some stories that at times they get so enticing you feel like you're reading a storybook. The Old Testament have really good stories. Stories of those early men of God, how they related and how they did things. Because it's like they give us stories of how things used to happen before the New Testament. And we get to read of curses and we get to read of blessings. And still, we also see of instances where God blessed and where God cursed. So as much as we may try to ask ourselves this question, one thing that we'll come to consensus with, or one thing that we can sit and maybe agree, is that blessings are there and curses are there. Yeah, that's for a fact. Blessings exist and curses exist. And blessings are from various aspects of in life. Blessings come from various people, curses come from various people. But today, I want us to base our talk to blessings from parents, or maybe curses from parents. And that's why I said that it's a time that we'll be getting back to our roots. It's a time that we'll be asking ourselves a question or another concerning our background and all that. And let me also ask you another question. As per now, wherever you are, whichever age you are, what kind of relation do you have with your parents? Maybe God has blessed you with a mom, with a dad. What's your relation with that mom? What's your relation with your dad? Maybe as you are growing up, what was your relation with your parents? Now that you've grown up and maybe you have gotten out of their environment, you're now on your own somewhere. What's your relation with your parents? Do you visit your parents? Do you ever go back there to just know of their well-being and all that. Wherever you are at your workplace, do you sit and call your parents and maybe get to know how they are faring and all that? When your parents get to think about you, are they happy? Or maybe are you the source of maybe sorrow to your parents? Do you know that there are some parents who are in bed or who are sick in bed because of the kind of stress and traumas that they have been given by their children? Are you in that list? I just want to ask some questions. Maybe the kind of life your parent is living, either maybe they are happy in their old age, or maybe they are sad, or maybe they are in chaotic situations. Is it because of you? Because I have seen children who have really made their parents happy, and their parents who are living very good lives because of the efforts of their children. And all the same, I've seen parents who have gotten sick to a extent of maybe even losing life because of the stress and maybe traumas that they have been given by their children. There are parents who regret ever giving birth to some children. There are parents who ever sit and say, why did my daughter, why did my son? I want you to just think. When your mom is seated there at her counter in there at home, what does she ever think when you come in mind? What does your papa ever think when you come in mind? Are they excited about you? Do they ever sit down and say, God, remember so and so, my daughter, as she do this and this? Do your mom speak positive about you, even in your absence? Do your dad ever sit down and like wish you well, even in your absence? These are some hard and easy questions that I want to ask, that I want we ask ourselves. Because, as I started by saying, blessings exist and curses exist. And we get read in the Bible that a parent is our second God. As much as we believe that God usually blesses us and God usually curses us, the same way I want us to believe that a parent being our second God, he has all capability and all mandate to bless us and all the same to curse us. And I think we should be we should really take caution on how at times we get to relate with our parents. I always say, maybe in our young age, there are a lot that we didn't know. There are things that maybe you could have wished to have done, but maybe you didn't. You could have wished to be that obedient girl, that young girl, that young child that was obedient. You did what your parent wanted and all that, but maybe you couldn't be able because you were young and you didn't know what is right to do. But now that we are grown ups, what can we do even maybe to remedy some of the things we made our parents go through? And there was a lot that was coming to my mind. Do you know there are some people right now, the things they are going through, it might be a curse. A curse in this manner, a word that was spoken, maybe by your parents, and it's making you suffer to this extent. It might be a word that was mentioned, maybe even by your grandparents, and it has extended to you. There are some people who are really suffering, but the reason of suffering is because of a curse, a word that was spoken, a word that was said. And all the same, there are people who are really nourishing in life, people who are in admirable situations in life. Anything that they begin, it just flourishes, just because there was a blessing that they were blessed with, maybe by a parent or maybe by a grandparent. There are some people, as much as you may try to befall them, their star is always shining, because we always say that when God blesses, no man can ever curse. The same way, when a parent blesses, it's hard. to miss out on that blessing. So there are some people who are doing very well in life because of blessings from their parents. And also the same, there are people who are suffering here out because of a curse. And at times, parental curses and parental blessing, there are things that at times comes automatically. There are things you can do to your mother, and even without your mother saying anything or your papa saying anything, you get into a curse. There are some words, even as we grow up, you're usually told that there are some words you should not speak to your mom. There are some things that you shouldn't tell your mother. There are some things you shouldn't tell your dad. We always at times even call it an abomination, because some of these things at times you may say it, your mom will not mention anything, your dad will not mention anything, but it may stand as a curse, and it might not affect you, but it might affect your generation. This is one thing that at times that really disturbs me about curses and blessings, because they can skip a generation and get to another. As we even read in the Bible that curses and blessings, they go even to the fourth generation. First, second, third, and fourth. It might not affect the first generation, but it might extend to the second, the third, or even the fourth. That's the funniest thing about curses and blessings. But if you thought you're in that lineage, a blessing can just come and a curse can just come. That's why at times you get to hear of people who are suffering of things that were said in their lineage. Maybe it's because of being named after, I don't know, someone, and it affects a generation that in one or another, you're not even well informed about the same. You get to hear from uncles, from aunties, from relatives, and all that. That's one thing that really disturbs me about curses and blessings. You might be undergoing something that mistake wasn't yours. It was something that was done by your grandpa or your grandma. And your mother in those early days told them this, and this, and it now comes to you. That's how strong blessings are. It's how strong curses are. And I always say, for blessings, it's okay. What about now curses? That's where my pain always comes in. Because I wouldn't wish my generation to go through things just because I was negligent, just because I was just, I don't care. Just because I wasn't very cautious enough to watch out on some things. Yes. One thing I want us to get into our mind is that parents have all capability and all mandates to curse and to bless. And it doesn't come at times like being planned for or anything. It comes automatically. There are some things we are doing to our parents, and in one way or another, we are asking for curses. Yes, we are asking for curses. There are things you get to hear children are doing to their parents. Do you know nowadays even children are getting there to rob their parents in this kind of, you trick your mom or your dad on how maybe I've heard of issues at times, and I don't want maybe to give narration or something, because obviously I've heard from people, maybe some who I'm close to, and I wouldn't like to give a narration and maybe someone gets to connect that I might be talking about them or something. But I've gotten to hear of situations where parents are crying because of their children. You have gotten your mom into issues to a point that she's regretting ever carrying you in her womb. And that's the worst thing that a mom can speak. When you hear a mom say that, I regret ever carrying you in my womb, I regret ever breastfeeding you with my breasts. Those are some words that if you get to hear a mom speak, just know that whatever follows must not be too good. Whatever follows is something that at times that can bring issues. And even here in social media, you get to hear of how reckless people are at times when they are talking issues concerning their parents. We really need to be sensitive. We really need to be sensitive. You don't just throw words to your mother. You don't just throw words to your dad. You don't. You don't. Always remember that a parent is a second God. Always remember that second in command from God, it's your parents. And as much as maybe you may feel that a parent has offended you, hey, well, it's not a matter of like you there throwing words like you're competing. You can never compete with your parents. You can never be even in a point of trying to exchange words with a parent. There's always a respective way of answering a parent. Not that now that you there, you must like do whatever the parents say and all that. But there's always a good way on how you can respond to a parent, and a cohesive way, a way that your parent will not feel offended and all that. But we really need to watch out on how we are treating our mothers and how we are treating our fathers. Imagine they carry our blessings. You know, I always see of people when it comes to church, they go to churches and they get these moms and dads from church and they really respect them, and they really, you know, they are really committed on how the moms and dads in church and ensuring that, oh, you know what, I'm going, oh, to the pastor's wife, I don't know, to the pastor, you know, mama in church, papa in church. And I always ask myself, when it comes to your mom back at home, is it the same treatment that you give them? Do you give them the same treatment? Because as much as you may try to go and tell pastors and these mamas and papas in church to like bless you and maybe commit everything to God and all that, if at all you don't have a blessing from home, it's all in vain. It starts from home. Yeah, it starts from home. Even there's a Kikuyu saying that says that, and I quote, "Gemni shumaga na mushin." Yes, it starts from home. And I always say, even when you in your workplace or in your living, you maybe in your marriage and all that, and you always realize that things are not working out, before you try any other thing, always go back home. Go back home, because at times some of these issues that we go through, you feel like nothing is working. It's like you are in a stagnation and all that. Some solutions, you always get them when you go back home. Go back home, get to know, are your parents happy? Maybe it's 2 years, it's 3 years since you went home, and you think that your mom, wherever she is, she's happy. And you think that that time that your mom, it's at night, she has eaten her supper, she has maybe finalized in her everything, she's just seated somewhere relaxing, awaiting to go to bed. I tend to think they get to think about their children, and maybe what comes to their minds when she ever thinks about you. She'll be like, even if it's working, it's now 2 years. We are not going to the third year. Why does my daughter never come to see me? Why does my son never come to see me? Don't allow it to get to this point that your parents are asking themselves so many questions. It brings stagnation in life. It brings at times bad omen and all that, bad luck. It brings bad luck, even in our workplaces and all that in life. Parents is something that is very crucial. Parents is like our God. The same way at times you always sit and you feel, it's wrong since I prayed, it's wrong since I had some time with my God. The same way should happen to our parents. They are our second God. Anytime you're like, hey, it's wrong since I visited my mom, it's wrong since I visited my dad, can you really just plan yourself and rush home? Go spend a day with them, and from there, me, I'm one person who can testify of that. You at times you just go home, even if you don't have money for a lot of shopping and all that, just buy the slightest thing that you can. Go, just say hi to your mom, say hi to your dad. At times, these parents, They even don't want too much from us. They just want to see us. They just want to see that we are alive, we are well. At times those phone calls are not enough. Don't be like, we talk. No, at times the phone calls are not enough. Go there. Go and shake hands with your parents. You know, as you leave, they will tell you, they will bless you. As you leave home, they'll be like, oh, as you go back to maybe your area of residence, maybe where you live and where you work and all that, may God bless you. May God see you through. You see these words when they are coming from a parent. Oh, hmm? Those are words that are very mighty coming from a parent. And these are things that we should really be after. Hearing your mom and your dad say, I bless you. I wish you well. Go and endeavor. Hmm? These are things that we should really be after. As we grow up, let's be after making our parents happy to an extent of wishing as well. Of like, that's why I'm always happy when I see people who when they get to have a coin or two, they get finances. What they do is going back home, they get to build for their parents, they get to renovate their houses, they get to like buy those things that they feel their parents could need in the house and all that. Those people are unlocking blessings out of your life. And if at all you don't have plans of doing anything for your mom, for your dad, it's the high time you start thinking right now on what you can do for your parents. Yes, that castritest thing you can do. And your mom or your dad will say, I bless you. I wish you well. May the source of your income multiply. Those are some of the things that you should really be looking forward to hear from your parents. Because those are some of the things that will make you prosper. Yes. Those are some of the things in adulthood that we really need. You know, at times you're trying, you fast, you go to prayer mountains, you are always in church, but there's something that is very crucial, as minute as it is, going back to the drawing board, going back to the origin of everything. We always say east or west, home is the best. Yeah, home remains the best. You may be blessed by anyone else here outside, but if though you don't carry the blessing of a parent, let me tell you, it's in vain. It's in vain. And the blessing of a parent is so automatic. The moment you just make your parent happy, the moment, you know, in adulthood, you don't even need so much to make your parent happy because you're not spending a lot of time with them. It's just the little things at times that they request you to do, and you're so willing, you're so there. Sacrifice that 1,000, that 2,000. If at all your mom needs something, make life easy for her. At least she enjoys the fruit of her womb. You know, by that, you are unlocking blessing into your life. You are unlocking blessings into your generation. And the mothers and even dads will always be like, the way you are taking care of me, may your children also take care of you. Those are the words that parents always speak. You see how you always ensure that I'm well. May your children always do that to you. And the vice versa is also true. When at times you neglect your parents and all that, you always hear of these ones. Parents will always be like, the same way you have made me suffer, may the same happen to you. At times, they may not utter the words you hear in them, but by their thoughts, it comes. Yeah, it comes. Because, you know, the reason why at times we say parents are our second God. Have you ever started imagine how, maybe if at all, you've gotten to that point of maybe having a child and bringing them up, you will get to realize how, at times, just carrying a child for 9 months, bringing them up, giving them education, and not just education from primary level to secondary level to tertiary level, to a point that this woman or this young man is to a point that he is grown up, he is responsible, and he is up to himself. Do you think it's a joke? Do you think it's a joke? Getting from pregnancy all the way to maybe around 20 years, it's never a joke. Parents do a lot of work to ensure that we are up to who we are. At times instilling discipline unto us, ensuring that we grow up in manners and in correct stature. It's never easy. And that's why parents at times they feel so bad. When you now up to age and you just become irresponsible. You talk to parents how you want. At times you never grateful for what your parents have done for you. It touches something in them, and automatically they get to speak words, not willing, but they get to speak. Especially, we always say, especially for mothers are always quick to speak. And the reason why, I think in child bringing in child upbringing, the greatest task is usually for mothers, because every woman who has gotten to carry pregnancy and brought up a child, maybe from the age up to around 5 years, let me say 5 years, it's never easy. And they know the pain at times. They know the pain of having children. They know at times how stressful it becomes having that young child and all that. And as we always say, at times, when even a child becomes indisciplined and becomes at times hard to handle, the blame always goes to the mother. There's a lot of tasks that are always expected to be done by a mom in child bringing up. That's why at times you always hear women at times speak. Most of the times you always hear utterances made. They always come mostly from mothers. Mothers will hear them speak of things. That's why it's always good at times to ensure that you're making your mom happy. Irrespective of you are beside her or you live away from her, it's your responsibility to make her happy. And as you make her happy, she blesses you. Yes, some of these blessings you will not get them from anywhere else. They just come from home. And I'm saying our parents do not curse us. Our parents do not get to curse us like intentionally. There's no parent who will like to curse their children. But some of these things comes automatically because it's wrong to do them. As I said, it's an abomination. There are things you'll do and they call for curses unto your life. You know, there's this statement that you hear people say that you keep on telling me that you carried me from pregnant. You keep on telling me that you carried me for 9 months. Did I ask you to? Eh? You hear such a statement. If a child tells her mom such a statement, it doesn't matter whatever the mom will speak back. But that is a curse already. You have cursed yourself. Because that is not a manner that you should speak to your mother. You know, there are these people who are like, don't keep on telling me at how you the things you did, the sacrifices you made for me growing up. At how much did you spend on me? I pay back. Do you see? You know, especially in this era we are at, we have gotten to hear of all manner of things. Personally, I'm one person who have gotten to hear of all sorts of things. You hear of things and you're like, where will I hide my face? Because I don't want to imagine that that is a son or that is a daughter who is talking to their father, who is talking to their mother. Because people no longer care. You just speak anything. And you're speaking to who? To your parents. Or unto us. Or unto us. Because we don't know at times the things we're bringing unto ourselves. And as I said, it might not affect you. But just be cautious about your generation. I wouldn't wish my daughter to suffer or to undergo things just because of my negligence. I wouldn't wish that granddaughter of mine, in whichever era she'll come, to just undergo things just because I was very negligent and I don't care. It's not right. It's not right at all, at all. From this point, whenever at times it gets to make sense unto you, take a point. Even go, if at all you feel there's an issue, that there's a time that you ever had, a time that you threw words to your mother or to your dad, it's the high time. Go and ask for forgiveness before they get to depart from this universe. There's nothing bad like, I always see, I don't know whether you have ever heard of people after their parents have gotten to die, they are like, I wish I had some time to speak with my mom and she forgives me of things I said to her. And as early as now, if your mom is alive, if your dad is alive, and you feel that there's something that you ever did, there's something that you ever spoken, you had a time that you really in a tug of war and you spoke once, that in one way or another you feel they inflicted pain to them, ensure that as early as possible, as soon as possible, go and make peace with your parents. If at all you're there and you're never at peace with your mom, you're never at peace with your dad, it doesn't matter whatever they did. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever matters is that that is your mom and that is your dad. Whatever they did, you should not like be there to retaliate because that my dad did, because my mom did. You always get to read this word in the Bible where a son saw his dad naked, and instead of covering the dad, he went and called the brothers. And the son, the descendants of that son were cursed by the father. Reason why the father being naked wasn't good. The father lying naked and he was drunk wasn't good. But there's nowhere we read in the Bible that he is being judged of being drunk and being naked. Whoever is being judged is the child who saw the nakedness of the father, and instead of figuring out on how the dad should be covered, what he did was he went and called the brothers. And it's like maybe by calling the brothers, he was like calling them to also come and see. But good and wise for those brothers because they looked for the best way. They will cover the dad and they would see his nakedness. I think that's what we are expected to do. So don't tell us here out, I don't know that my dad is bad, my mom is bad, my mom did. No, we are not listening to those stories. We are not listening because that is not a matter. The matter is this is your mom and this is your dad. They brought you to this universe, they have brought you up. To that extent you are, they have contributed in one or two things. That is all that matters to us. So any curse that follows you because you don't respect them, you don't listen to what they say, you don't see them like anything, it's up on you. There's nowhere, there's nowhere we'll ever stand and judge a parent. No. When it comes to children, there's nowhere we'll ever judge a parent. The judgment always comes to the child. Yes. We read in the Bible that he was cursed. And we read in the Bible, and we really get to read in the Bible stories about blessings and curses. And at times you may think that there is no power in blessings and there is no power in curses. And it's until you get yourself in such a point and you'll be like, so these things happen. So my urge is, if at all you feel there's a disconnect between you and your parent, and you're the issue, if at all the parent is the issue, that's another case. But if you're the issue, can you try to make peace when they are alive? Because we always say at times, these words that have been spoken, at times so that to nullify them and to make them maybe lack power and all that, it's good when the owner of the words, like, retaliates the words when he or she is alive. So if your mom is alive and your dad is alive, go make peace with them. Have some time together. Have some time of like reconnecting and making peace. It's for your benefit. It's for the benefit of your generation. Let's be cautious of our lineage. Because at times there are things that we're going through right now in our knowledge or out of our knowledge. It's because of things that maybe were done by our parents and maybe by our grandparents. And as I always say, it's also good at times to always be committing yourself to God and also detangling yourself from some words that could have been spoken, things that you are not liable about. You know, there are things that you are liable about, and those ones at times you have to undergo the circumstance. But for things you are not liable about, it's good at times to always be asking God. And we actually read in the Bible, there are people that were cast by their parents or maybe by their grandparents. And as much as we read from the Bible, we saw them carry the circumstance of those curses. And don't say that. And the same way that God exists right now, even then He existed. So there is a time that God permits us to undergo, sense that God allows us to undergo though that pain and anguish and sorrows of curses in our lives. So let's be cautious about curses that comes from our parents. Let's be very cautious. Let's be very cautious that we don't get to carry curses from our parents. Because as much as we may try to pray, as much as we may try, there are some things that our parents spoke, and as we're saying that our parents are our second God, and as much as we may try to pray and be committed to God and fast and all that, if at all we have not gone back to the roots, it may not be well with us. So let's have it as a routine. Respect your parents and always be there to make peace with your parents. Where you can make them happy, make them happy. Let them be blessing you daily. Let them anytime you meet with your mom, as you leave, as you depart, should be like, I bless you, my daughter. I bless you, my son. Go have a good life. I bless you, children. I bless the fruit of your womb. I bless your business. I bless your employment, your source of income. These are the kind of words we want to hear from our parents. And it does not just come. You must be there to look for it. We always say blessings are looked for. They don't just come. You not just be there sitting and blessings will follow you. No. Blessings are looked for. Let's make it a routine of making our parents happy. And by this, we are unlocking a lot of blessings into our lives. These would just be, nothing is everything. Your things will just be like popping. There's nothing that is stagnating because your parents have put their tick. And when our parents bless us and our God blesses us, imagine how life will be. So I'm urging you, if at all you have issues with your parents, kindly settle the issues, make peace with them, and if possible, ask for forgiveness. Look for a token. Go and ask for forgiveness and make it a routine. Let's be visiting our parents. Let's be calling them. Let's be assisting them. If at all maybe you are firstborn and maybe you have younger siblings, and maybe you have a coin or two that you can save and maybe support your parents to bring the other younger children up, please do it. Please do it. It's unlocking blessings into your life. I've seen firstborns who are always very concerned about their siblings. And that's how life should be. That's how you should do. You are unlocking blessings at your life. There's no way you bring up your siblings and God will ever allow your children to lack. No. You know, we always say that do good and goodness will follow you. Goodness will always follow you. You sow, you reap where you sow. So let's make it a habit. Let's make it a habit of unlocking blessings at our lives. Don't be there to throw words to your mother, to your father, whatever they might have done. There are these people who always be like, my dad did not bring me up. Do you know my dad used to do what, and what? It doesn't matter. But try on how you can look for an avenue and make peace with that man. He is your dad. He is your dad. We are not asking for anything much. Just make peace. Make peace with him. And at times, if at all you feel you're carrying a lot of grudges, tell God to help you to forgive him and to be at peace with him. Because these are a lot of weight you carry within ourselves. Because I've talked to many people who at times who have a lot of issues with their fathers. And they're like, I can never forgive my father. I don't love my father. And at times, I cannot even send him anything. No. By God's grace, you are now of age. You now have your own source of income. Why not just approach this man? As bad as he could be, he's your father. You don't have another one. He's your father. Make peace with him. Talk with him. Forgive each other whatever you could have done to each other. And from there, you never know. There are things that are beyond your reach. But whatever is in your reach, try to do it. Try to do it as early as when our parents are alive. Because there are points you hear of people say, if I knew this when my mom was alive, if I knew this when my dad was alive, now that you know, try to do something. Do something. And it's for your benefit. We all want blessings, and we all want our children and our generation to be blessed. So as much as we go into churches to seek for blessings, let's first start from our home place. Let's first begin there. And I know by that, our lives will be better, and our generations will carry blessings from a generation to another. I feel the topic about blessings and curses is about broad, and I'll come back into details to talk about blessings and curses. And as we said, blessings and curses are many, and they come from various areas of our lives. But for now, I want us to base on parental blessings and curses. So for today, let's stop it at that. But I promise I'll come back to get into details about blessings, how at times a parent can bless you and how a parent can curse you, and how that blessings can carry from a generation to another, and maybe the same curse can carry from a generation to another. And until next time, bye bye, love you.